everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Chris Weals, and you are joining me through the Life Coach University and the Pay It Forward platform. Thank you all so much for doing this. All we really ask is that you pay this kindness forward. You know, that we do this for free out of the kindness of our hearts, because we, the coaches here at Life Coach University really want to help the world, help everyone in it be stronger and make better choices and live more fulfilling, rewarding, enjoyable lives, and then just go out and spread the love. Again, I'm Chris Weals, founder of Rebel with a Purpose. I am a life coach, and today I am going to be talking to you about the power of responsibility. And I'm going to give you some pointers at the end on how you can start improving your responsibility and how that's going to improve your life. I'm going to give you some practical tips or things you can do on a daily basis to practice and improve. Now, for me, for a long time, I used to think that life was happening to me. I used to blame myself for past mistakes that I made, and I felt a lot of guilt and a lot of shame. And I used to blame my parents for a lot of things, including not helping me develop a great sense of self-discipline, and I thought that was holding me back in life, and so I blamed them for that. I used to complain a lot about my circumstances and make excuses for why I couldn't change them, and it had a lot to do with just me not thinking very highly of myself. You know, who am I to live this life that I would love to have? I'm just going to take what comes my way, and it's not all good all the time, and poor me. Well, what did all of that blaming and complaining and excuse making get me? Well, it got me a lot of depression, anxiety, unhealthy relationships, and pretty much a mediocre life. I mean, the aspects of my life were great, but overall it wasn't what I wanted, and I wasn't doing anything about it other than blaming others, blaming my past self, which is really helpful, right? And making excuses. And finally, through counseling, working with my own coaches, reading a ton of self-development books, and really putting in a lot of effort, I learned that I learned that I am creating this experience on my own. It's not what happened in the past. It's not what my parents did or didn't do. It's the thoughts that I'm having about these things. And the thoughts lead to how I feel and how I behave, how I talk about myself and about other people. And that's what creates my experience that I have. So I finally learned to let go of the things I can't control, take charge, forgive, and move forward. And my life has been steadily improving ever since. So I wanted to let you know that you are not a victim, and life is not happening to you. Of course, you can choose to see it that way if you want. That's up to you. That's actually your God-given right to do that. We have freedom of choice. If you choose to see life as happening to you and you're a victim, by all means, that is your right. That is your choice. Please do that. But why would you want to, right? I hope none of you feel that way. But if you do, I hope that by the end of this 20 to 30 minutes, you might be able to see things a little differently. Because really, you can choose to believe that life is happening for you, and everything you experience is a gift and an opportunity to grow. And a lot of it is to celebrate. It really is your choice. So what you make your circumstances mean about yourself and about everyone else and about what your options are is really up to you. You get to decide. No one else is controlling your beliefs. You may have got a lot of programming from when you're young. You may have picked up on a lot of other people's beliefs from what they taught you, from your parents and your teachers and your religious leaders and your siblings. But now that you're an adult, you absolutely can become aware of all of your thoughts and beliefs, and realize that they are yours. And like you choose which ones you hold on to. You get to decide which beliefs you have, which thoughts you're going to believe in your mind, and how that dictates your life. No one else is controlling the words that you speak. You know, how you talk about yourself and others, to yourself and others, is 100% on you. Again, no one can put words in your mouth. No one else is controlling your actions. What you decide to do or not to do is completely up to you. Again, right? No one, you're an adult, no one else is forcing you. Yes, we do have rules to follow, and if we break those rules, there are consequences. But whether or not you follow those rules and accept those consequences is, again, it's completely up to you. So why does any of this matter, right? We'll say, okay, Chris, that's great. You know, how I think and act and speak, that's on me. That's my responsibility. Great. So what? Well, it matters because your beliefs that you hold on to, that you choose to follow, the rules that you make for yourself or decide to follow, the words that you speak, either in your mind or in like out loud to yourself and to others about you and about others, the actions that you take or don't take, these are the things that are making up your life. These are creating the results that you get in life, and ultimately the experiences that you have, the relationships that you have, and the like your overall circumstances. These things stack, they build, and where you are in life now, everything you are, everything you do, everything you have, it's because of your past beliefs and words and actions. And so a lot of, if you're not where you want to be, it's probably because you had a lot of unintentional thoughts, words, and actions, and because you weren't aware of the thoughts that you were hanging on to. You weren't aware of how you were talking about yourself. You weren't aware of blaming and complaining and making excuses, and how that led to where you are. But now you can bring awareness to these things, and you can start making intentional choices. You could start having more purpose behind it. You can learn to take pause and think and have a thoughtful response versus an emotional reaction that winds up destroying your relationships or maybe your career. And now that you have more intention and more awareness, you can start to purposefully create. You can decide what you want your life to look like, who you want to be, and what you want to do, where you want to live, how often you want to travel and vacation, where you want to travel to, how you want to travel, who you want to travel with, who you want to be friends with. All of these things, you can start to become aware and make these really conscious, intentional choices. So this is why it matters. It's your whole life. It all comes down to you being aware, which is what I talked about last month, and now taking responsibility for your life, for yourself. No one else is coming. The adults aren't coming. One, to tell you what rules you need to follow, which is awesome. You get to make up your own rules. And two, they're not coming to do things for you, to control your thoughts and your minds and your words and your actions. So that again, it's all on you, which is, it's responsibility, right? There could be a negative connotation to that and maybe heavy, but also it's very freeing. You get to do it your way. So these things, they drive your experiences and your feelings, and they attract and repel other people, right? So the way you show up in the world, the way you speak and the way you act, that's going to either attract or repel people, right? That makes sense. It's pretty self-evident. They determine your level of success, of your joy, your fulfillment, and your inner peace. Because when you start to be a little bit more mindful of the thoughts that you're believing, that you're holding on to, and the actions that you're taking, so maybe how you eat, how much you exercise, how often you meditate, the conversations you choose to have with people, the career you choose to continue to follow. All of these things affect how you feel. And why do we do anything in life, right? It's all about the feeling we hope to get from that. Why do we want wealth? Because of the security that we're going to feel and the enjoyment, the fun that we're going to get to have, and how exciting all of that is, right? Like, so ultimately, the reasons we do anything is because of how it's going to make us feel. So ultimately, we're in control of how we feel. And of course, things might happen. We might get physically injured, or maybe we lose a loved one, and that's going to hurt. And that's absolutely okay. You know, I'm not telling you not to feel those feelings, but how you process that, how you handle it. You know, are you going to wind up turning to drugs and alcohol and eating for comfort and putting on a bunch of weight and going into a depression? Or are you going to allow yourself to feel that grief from the loss, and then start thinking positive thoughts and doing positive things to help you feel better and get back to a healthy, you know, loving, full life? Right. So now that you know the importance of taking responsibility, like what that will do for you in your life, I really want to focus now on sharing a few things. I actually have 5 tips here that you can put into practice starting today, like right away. You can start doing these things to help you to start to bring more awareness into your life, becoming more aware of the thoughts that you're having. And it's not just the thoughts. We have, I think it's 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. So each individual thought doesn't have that much significance. It's the thoughts that you choose to hold on to and turn into your truth, your beliefs. Like, these are the ones we need to really be mindful of and start making intentional choices about which beliefs we're going to keep, which ones maybe need to change. A lot of people put a lot of emphasis on whether they're true or not. Well, beliefs are not factual. They're just sentences in your mind. They're your opinion of the world, your judgment of the world. And it doesn't really matter. It's not that important as if it's true or not. It's all about, how does it make you feel? How does it serve you? Does having this belief help or hurt you, right? And so what belief do you want to have? You get to choose. Again, remember, it's your responsibility. It's on you. So I'm going to share with you 5 different things that you can start doing to help you to start to develop the awareness and the like taking charge of your thoughts and your words and your actions, so you can start getting the results that you want in life, start improving your relationships, maybe, you know, choose a different career path, or just improve the one that you're already on. And that first thing is to decide who you are. Like, do this today, or work on it with friends or close family members and close friends. Do this at some point. Start just making that decision. Who am I? And what do I want in my life? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? Where do I want to live? And how do I want to show up in the world? Right? Like, how do I want my interactions to go? Do I want to be an angry, reactive, violent person? Do I want to be sad? Do I want to be emotional? Do I want to be defensive? Or do I want to be calm and confident and then peaceful and loving and compassionate and fun and funny, right? These are things that if you're not thinking about it in advance, if you're not deciding who you are up front before you go out into the world and interact with people, you're going to just continue the same old pattern. You're going to be reactive. You know, you're not going to have that like moment of pause to go, wait a minute, how do I want to respond to this? Like, because what other people do doesn't control how you respond or react. It's what's going on inside your head, whether that's conscious or not, which dictates how you respond, how you act back. So decide who you want to be in the world. Right now, you can practice and increase your memory and and how this plays out in your life through a couple of exercises. So affirmations is one, and visualization is another. So just write out some I am statements about who you want to be. I am confident. I am calm. I am funny. I am compassionate. I am joyful. Write these things down and practice them throughout the day. And then another one is to visualize yourself. Maybe you're struggling in your relationship and you fight a lot with your significant other. Maybe you can start to visualize a scenario where they have done something in the past that triggered an emotional response in you that led to a fight. Maybe you can practice showing up a different way with more intention and being the peacemaker and keeper and being compassionate and understanding versus defensive and argumentative. So start to practice that in your mind. So when it happens, you're ready for it. Just like you can practice playing basketball in your mind and then start to improve your free throws just from practicing in your mind. All right, so that was the first thing. The second thing is to start noticing. So start bringing attention and awareness to whenever you are blaming or judging, complaining or whining, or making excuses, right? Catch yourself when you are feeling triggered or negatively emotional. Take note of it and pause. Now, the next thing that you can do, and this will start to kind of help you to reset a little bit and start to build up this this new intention and new awareness, is to do something to reset. So like you can rub two of your fingers together. You can do it really slowly and do it for like 10 seconds just to give yourself a little bit of pause. And so you can start to gather your thoughts and let the emotions subside and bring more awareness and intention to who you want to be in this moment. You can do something like that, or you can just take a few slow, deep breaths. And that, again, this is going to help you to pause, reset, and remember the decision that you made about who you are and how you want to show up in the world. All right, now, the third thing is to, at the end of the day, you can reflect back and evaluate how you showed up. And not so you punish yourself, it's not so you can beat yourself up and make yourself feel bad. No, you don't want to do that. But what you want to do is evaluate like all this, every situation, every thought that you had that was either like blaming or complaining or making excuses, where you beat yourself up in your mind throughout the day. Maybe you were mean to somebody else. Maybe you were harsh. Maybe you reacted emotionally. And just go through in your mind and evaluate that and just think, okay, hey, how did I blame people? How did I make excuses? And then think, now how could I have taken full responsibility? What can I have done differently in that moment, right? How could I have been kinder or more thoughtful or more considerate? Or maybe, I could have let that go, instead of getting angry and flipping off the person that cut me off today, I could have just let that go. It happened. There's nothing I could do about it now. They probably didn't mean to do that. I could have let that go. And that would have saved myself a lot of heartache. That maybe you flipping them off made them feel bad. You could have saved them a little bit of heartache. You could have just in that moment realized, hey, they didn't mean to do that. I don't need to be upset. No harm, no foul, right? They didn't hurt anyone. And even if they did, you still could choose not to be angry with people, right? Okay, so the fourth thing, one thing that I would like you to try, if you want to do that third one to evaluate, is to do this every day for a week and just start to notice how that affects you throughout the day. Because my bet is that it's going to actually help you become more aware throughout the day of when you are blaming and complaining and making excuses. And then you can practice the little like reset trigger and then bringing more awareness and intention. So try that every day for a week and take note of, maybe you can make a goal, be like, okay, I want to notice how many times I'm blaming and complaining and making excuses. And my goal is whatever number that is up front, by the end of the week, I want that number to be reduced by 50% or something. You can make it a goal for yourself. And so then do that every day and then see where you are by the end of the week. And I'm guessing you're going to see some improvements. However, the number is possibly going to go up only because you're now more aware. So don't think that you're not doing it right or it's not working because your number went up. It just means your awareness went up, most likely. All right, the fourth thing is to start bringing more attention into your daily routine through meditative practices. So this is what I was talking about with like rubbing your fingers or the slow, deep breaths. You can start to do this throughout the day. Maybe the first thing you do in the morning is take a couple of minutes to meditate. I like to do longer. I prefer like a 15 to 20 minute meditation session in the morning. And I just find it to be a very amazing way to start my day. Really sets my intention and puts me in a very calm, peaceful mood, which is how I like to be. And so you can set a reminder on your phone to pause for just like 10 seconds or up to 2 minutes and do this 3 or 4 times throughout the day. So maybe once every 3 hours, have an alarm go off that reminds you to do this little meditative practice. And maybe you just like rub your hands together very slowly and just feel that sensation and try not to think about anything else. And then also maybe just for a few extra seconds, mix in your affirmations and visualizations, because repetition with those things is what solidifies them. What's help you. Those are the things that help you actually change how you're showing up in the world and who you believe you are and like what you're capable of. And these are the things that are going to really make a big difference in changing your life for the better. All right, the fifth and final thing is to focus on gratitude and to start training yourself to start seeing everything in your life. And I mean everything. And this might be hard to even fathom, but if you can choose to view everything as a gift and an opportunity. Even the most painful things in life, you can view as an opportunity to grow and to help yourself be a stronger person and to help others. You know, for the longest time, I held on to a lot of shame and a lot of guilt over the death of my best friend when I was 16. And when I finally learned to view even that as a gift and an opportunity for growth, my life completely turned around for the better. My anxiety, depression, things like that, way down. I was able to start intentionally creating a life and developing a sense of purpose and focusing on how I can serve others who maybe have experienced similar past traumas, or maybe they're not even similar, but just past trauma and are dealing with low self-confidence, low self-esteem, and mild to moderate depression, anxiety, these things. It really just learning to forgive and to be grateful has done so much for me, and I know it will for you if these are things that you're having a hard time with. So make it a daily habit. I think it's like the early morning when you first wake up or right before bed are great times to practice being grateful. Think of just a few things that you have to be grateful for, and try to do it for something new each day. But if you can't think of something new, that's fine. Think of something that's been there, every day. You have a roof over your head, you have food to eat, you have people who love you, you have clothes to wear, you live in a beautiful place. Whatever it is, focus on gratitude, because that just starts to create a shift within you, and really helps you to see life differently. And that's what it's about. Like, you want a different life, you have to start seeing things differently. You need to start expanding your perspective. You need to start making intentional choices about how you want to experience this life. All right, so that's what I have for you all as far as my, my lesson, my teaching, the 5 things that you can do. I'm going to recap those real quick for you. The first thing is to make this decision as soon as possible. Who are you? What do you want? How do you want to show up in the world? Start noticing when you're blaming, judging, complaining, whining, making excuses, and then pause, right? Pause and do that also when you're feeling triggered, maybe by your significant other. Pause, bring attention and intention into the moment and think, how do I want to show up? And then you can show up that way versus how maybe you used to show up, which was a little bit more reactive versus responsive and creative. Okay, the third thing is to reflect at the end of each day. How did I make things worse? How could I have made things better? The fourth thing is bring more attention into your daily routine through meditative practices and affirmations and visualizations. And the fifth thing is to develop a daily practice of gratitude. All right, I am going to ask you all now to, in the Q&A button there, in that chat box under Q&A, not chat, but Q&A. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to post those. I'd be more than happy to answer them. If not, and it doesn't look like I have any at this point, I have a chat, nope, okay. So I'm just gonna remind you again of who I am. I am Chris Weals with Life Coach, I'm sorry, with Rebel with a Purpose. And you can reach me at chris@rebelwithapurpose.com. I am available for one-on-one coaching. I accept 4 new clients per month. And so if you want to have a discussion about possibly working with me, please, you could reach me again at chris@rebelwithapurpose.com. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a second because I do have a statement and a question. So somebody says, the pause is super useful. Sometimes I'm so reactive and get angry. Right, absolutely. So learning to develop that pause, which is like developing a muscle, so you build your muscle strength through repetition, through practice. It's the same thing to develop that pause, work on these things that I gave you, these 5 tips, and you'll start to develop your pause strength, right? And then it'll happen more often than it used to, and it'll just keep getting better where you're pausing and responding, like you're coming up with a creative response versus an old patterned reaction, and what we want is to have that creative response. And we all get angry, so don't beat yourself up over that. All right, now I have a question. How do I develop my purpose or vision? That is an amazing question. I'm actually going to get more into that next month when I do this talk again, but I will touch on that very briefly. My favorite exercise is it's a life purpose statement exercise that you could do. And again, I'm going to go deeper into this, but I'm going to run through it real quick. That exercise is answer this question for yourself. What are 2 of your characteristics or your personality traits or values that you have that you absolutely love? What are your 2 favorites? Write those down. The next step is, what are 2 ways you like to share those first 2 things with the world? Do you like to teach? Do you like to inspire? Do you like to coach? Do you like to motivate? However you like to share those. Do you like to tell jokes? Do you like to tell stories? What are the ways that you like to share those personality traits or characteristics or values? And I mean, like, those first 2 things, like I'm joyful, I am peaceful, I am confident, I care a lot about family, I'm a great friend, like those kinds of things. And then the third is to picture in your mind the perfect world in the current tense. So just thinking, okay, in my perfect world, everyone knows their purpose and they're following that purpose. They have vision for themselves, and they're confident, and they have high self-esteem, and they know that they are valuable and that they deserve all the amazing, wonderful love in the world. And so everyone is acting that way, and everyone is taking full responsibility in their relationships and in all of their interactions and for their own life, and they're compassionate, and everyone is playful and doing the things that they absolutely love. Like work doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels like play. And so like, this is my vision for this perfect world. And so what you now want to do is combine those three things. So your two favorite personality traits or characteristics or values, your two ways that you like to share those with other people, and then that vision of the perfect world. So, like, I like to teach and inspire. For me, I like to joyfully and playfully teach and inspire, the people to live their fullest life and know their purpose, something to that effect, right? And then once you have that statement, then you can just start to refine it, keep working on it, make it yours. And then from there, you can go on to visioning how you want that to show up in your life, how you want to play that out. Maybe you want that to be part of your career, or you think about how you want that to look in your relationships. Again, like, that was a really quick run through. Next month, I'm going to be actually going deeper into creating purpose. And it's going to have a lot to do with values and the exercise I just went through, and then some others. All right, I got a comment. I found when I gave up the need to be right, I was able to pause more. Yes, absolutely. Do you want to have a good life, or do you want to be right? Right? Do you want to have a happy relationship? Do you want to have a successful career? Do you want to have healthy relationships with, your coworkers and your friends and community? Or do you want to be right? Right. So, being right isn't all that important, but having a nice, healthy, happy life definitely is. All right. So I don't have any other questions. If you do have any others, please feel free to let me know. Again, I'm Chris Weals with Rebel with a Purpose. I'm doing this talk through the Life Coach University. And again, we just ask that you pay the kindness forward, and please share if you're inspired to do something kind because of this, please share that experience, your story with Life Coach University, and email them your experience at hello@lifecoachuniversity.com. I also want to let you know that we have a couple of amazing talks like this one coming up tomorrow. We have Amanda McGregor delivering a pay it forward talk like this on Are You Living on Purpose, which is going to be amazing. And that's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. And then at 5 p.m. Pacific, Alana Schramm is delivering a talk on how to release negative emotions, another powerful and important topic. And you can sign up for those through lifecoachuniversity.com under the Pay It Forward talks. All right, everyone. Let's see. Thank you, Chris. This was really great. I especially like the finger rubbing exercise to help bring me into the moment. So simple and effective. Yeah, thank you so much for that comment. That is a really powerful one for me as well. I love that. Thank you all so much for coming, for being here with me today. I hope you got a lot out of this. If I could have done something different, if I could have made it better in any way that you know of, I would really appreciate your feedback. Please just email me. Or if you want a copy of this is being recorded. So if you want a copy of this recording, email me at chris@rebelwithapurpose.com. Thank you all so much. I got another comment. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate the knowledge. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. All right, everyone, have a blessed day. Take care.